Hello YouTube, I'm Austini, and today we're going to be looking at the MM710 by Cooler Master. So, I've had this MM710 for a couple of weeks now, and before I got my Hot ES, this was my main mouse. So, I'm very comfortable with this mouse. It feels really good. This is probably one of my favorite shapes. The shape on this mouse is excellent. The clicks are good. The scroll wheel is wonderful. It's probably my favorite scroll wheel out of any mouse I've used. D-pad button. Side buttons are not very good in my opinion, but we'll go over that in further detail. I put Tiger Arcs on mine, but the feet that come with the mouse originally are all PTFE, but they have some weird edges on them. But overall, they're pretty good feet. You won't have problems with it not sliding unless it's your mouse pad's fault. So now let's go into a bit more detail. The clicks on these mice are pretty good. There's not any post or pre-travel on either of these clicks. The clicks feel really good. Overuse though, this click has kind of worn in a bit. I'd say this click is a lot more satisfying at this point than my right click. Maybe it's, I don't know if I guess I could call it some pre-travel. I don't know. I'm not actually sure what it is about the click. It just doesn't feel as good. I think that's just, I've been using this mouse very heavily. So, but really not any issues with the clicks. The clicks are really good. Side button clicks, I did say that these were kind of a problem. So this is what the side buttons sound like. The side buttons are okay. I think that the angle of these side buttons makes it a bit weird to click them. Let me see if I can give you a profile here. They're at an angle, like they're not flat. The side buttons are kind of triangular and pokey, so they're a bit odd to press. They're not the most comfortable side buttons. Maybe a slight bit of post travel on both of these side buttons, but it's not a huge issue. It's not like going way inside the mouse or anything. It's just a slight bit of post travel. Not anything most people will notice. So yeah, it's a really good mouse. The weight I think is around 46 grams, if not 46, my mistake. 54 grams, which is pretty light for a mouse around $50. This mouse does, like I was just said, come in around $50, which is, in my opinion, making this one of the best budget mice available. Frankly, one of the reasons this isn't recommended more is there was some build quality issues with the earlier units. I bought mine, I think I said, maybe like a month ago. Oh, sorry, I got my finger in there. And I don't have any build quality issues. This mouse feels pretty darn good. I have to push exceptionally hard on the side frame, close to feeling like I'm going to snap the plastic in order to get a click out of from the side buttons. So you really don't have to worry about the frame bending in and accidentally clicking the side buttons. There's not really much flex at all. So I'd say in terms of side build quality, pretty decent. Bottom build quality, not a whole lot of flex at all. Sorry, I keep getting my hand out of frame. There's not much flex at all, so pretty good. This was a problem with earlier units as well. There was a lot of flex or play in the triggers. And mouse 1 and mouse 2 do not move on this unit at all. I don't have any issues with that at all. It feels really good. It's overall a really solid feeling mouse. It doesn't feel like it's gonna fall apart in your hands or anything like some of the earlier units did. So if you hear that by reviewers, it's not that they're lying to you. That was an issue with earlier models. It's not an issue with the one I received. But do take that into consideration. So now going into the stock cable, I did keep the stock cable on this mouse, and it's pretty darn good, I'm not gonna lie. I really don't have a good cable to compare this to, but I will say that it is relatively flexible. How can I do this? I'll set my keyboard there. It is a relatively flexible cable. You won't run into issues with it. It's not going to feel as good as a cable from Paracable Mods, for example, but it is a really good cable. So don't worry about that. You aren't going to have to necessarily replace the cable as soon as you get it. So now I'm going to compare this mouse to... I'm going to go into my grips first. I use a claw grip with this mouse. Feels good in a claw grip for me. Knuckle claw is pretty comfortable as well. Pincer claw isn't super comfortable for whatever reason. I think it's just because the base of the mouse is kind of thick and is for filling up your palm. So the pincer claw doesn't feel as good. Fingertip is really good. I mean, it's pretty light. It's not as light as something as like the Hottie S, but it is a pretty light mouse, so fingertipping doesn't feel bad at all. Palm gripping, I mean, it is manageable on this mouse. Matter of fact, it is manageable, but it doesn't feel good, so don't palm grip it. Now I'm going to quickly do the comparison to the other big major mouse in this price point that I own, which is the Viper Mini. Razer Viper Mini. In comparison to the Razer Viper Mini, I give it to the MM710 every time. I don't like the way this mouse feels. The clicks aren't as good. I don't like the clicks on the Viper. I don't like the scroll wheel on the Viper. The side buttons are the only good thing about the Viper, in my opinion. So, definitely, if you're thinking about grabbing a mouse within the $50 range, the MM710 is a really good option, especially if you have a claw grip. I can't use the Razer Viper Mini because I can't get a good claw grip on it. It like tapers in too much on the sides, which just makes I can't claw it correctly. So yeah, if you have a claw grip, medium-sized hands, this is a really good option. So don't be afraid of the MM710. Build quality is not a huge issue anymore, and at least from what I can tell. So if you're looking for a budget mouse, lightweight mouse, and you can sacrifice maybe some side buttons, there really isn't many other trade-offs with this mouse. It's really good. So thank you. That's my review of the MM710. I'm going to be posting my review of the Razer Viper Mini as well as the XM1 in a few days here. And I'm also going to be posting my Heian extended review and Artisan Raiden extended review. So maybe hit the subscribe button if you're interested in seeing those. If not, no hard feelings. Do leave a comment. I try and answer everything. So yeah, just don't be afraid of it. Maybe give it a try. I mean, honestly, it's $50 on Amazon, so if you don't like it, you can send it back and it won't be a huge issue. And yeah, peace out.